Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Tuesday Talks with the Conways.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chris. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Yay, Joy made it. And if you fall asleep, no one will notice. Joy mentioned beforehand that she was really, really tired. She's been up early since early this morning, and she hula hoops really early in the morning too, so she'll need to get that rest in. So make sure you relax, but it's also very important to make sure you get your sleep.
Yes.
Hello, Radina. Welcome. Glad to have you all here.
I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to remind my mom to.
Yes, so she's got to text her mom to remind her so she can join us. We'll give everyone a few moments to join and before we get started on our chat. But if anybody has anything they wanted to talk about, any wins for the week while we wait for people to join, or if you want to comment where you're watching from, we've got Naomi on Facebook. We've got quite a few people on our Instagram as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Not sure if we've got anybody on YouTube yet right now or not, but welcome. So these podcasts are recorded, and so they'll live on YouTube. So you can watch recordings of our previous podcasts if you would like. You can also listen to our podcast, the audio podcast, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And welcome, Erica and Kathy from Nebraska. Welcome, and Stacy. Glad to have you all here. If you're new here, let us know that if this is your first time watching us, or if you're one of our regulars, welcome back. We love having new people, but we love our regulars too.
Absolutely.
We hope that our new people will become regulars too.
Yes.
So, hi Amy. Yes, we've got Amy, our faithful YouTube watcher. Glad to have you on YouTube as well. And we've got Tom and Beverly. I'm not sure which one we've got with us or both from Kentucky. Not very far from us. We're down in Alabama. We have some mild weather tonight, but nothing
Yeah, nothing like last
concerning.
week.
No, no, last week was absolutely nuts. So weather is much better this
Yeah.
week. So maybe a little bit of rain, but nothing to be concerned about. Had some storms the other night that we woke up and there were some trees down in the neighborhood. So none, thankfully, on our street or in our house, but lots of weather going on. So everybody keep an eye on it. We've got somebody.
Yes, we have Melissa, first timer on Instagram. So
Yes, welcome, and Diane from Minnesota. A lot of my coworkers are from Minnesota. My company's one of their primary offices is based out of Minnesota, so lots of people from up there. Can't really tell your accent, obviously, but you probably have got one of those Midwestern accents, possibly. Those are always fun whenever I'm on calls with people at work with those accents. Always love it. All right, so if you want to go ahead and I think we have enough people joining us. Let's go ahead and introduce the topic.
yes, tonight's circle is why your circle matters. And this is something that we try to touch on occasionally. Just because having a good support system is essential in any sort of health journey, not just a health journey, but just in life in general, because you just need people that are there for you.
Absolutely. We've got also Linda from Michigan, one of our regulars, and we've got Kay from Iowa. So glad. But yes, circle it really is important. We've talked about this. We touch base on this a little bit periodically, but it's really important. We would love to be considered part of our circle, but your circle needs to be more than just us two. It doesn't have to be your somebody you know personally. It can be somebody you met online. We've got several friends that we consider part of our circle that we've never met in life, in real life. We've met online. So lots and lots of people. And hi, mom. Mom joined us after Courtney texted her. Yes, and Joy mentioned that 4:15 was really early, but didn't want to miss out tonight. Well, we appreciate you coming and joining us and being one of our regulars as well.
Yes, but like Chris said, a strong support system is essential in anything in life. You need to have people cheering you on. You need people to have people that are there for you when you're struggling. So we're going to touch on just a couple ways to make sure you're looking for that, what to do if somebody's not so supportive, and also just on having accountability partners in general.
Hello, Shelly. So glad to have you with us. But yes, so definitely very important to have people cheering you on. We always mention having someone cheer for you and support you and encourage you is really instrumental in being able to continue in your journey. If you don't, or if you struggle with endurance and keeping going, and wondering why you're doing this. Part of that is having a good circle that can encourage you. I can go to Courtney, not really feeling it today, and she'd be like, "You've got this, Chris."
Yes, absolutely. Also with that, not just like with your health journey, well, this is part of your health journey, but like going to the gym and stuff. If you find someone that I know if I have somebody, which is typically Chris, that I'm going to the gym with, that's depending on me, I'm probably going to be there.
Hmm.
So it also not just with like weight loss and things of that nature, but just like your activity and like I said, with everything in life. So that's one thing that that's our first point is like accountability partners and making sure you have someone there to keep you accountable. Like I said, if you find a gym buddy, that is like one of the best things in the world because if you know they're counting on you to be there,
Hmm.
you're probably going to be there. I had someone just mention that the other day that like they were struggling getting to their morning workouts and they had someone there that was like, "Hey, am I going to see you tomorrow?" The next day she woke up, she did not want to go. She
Hmm.
was like, "I told this lady I'm going to be there, so I was there." So she started telling her, "I'm going to see you tomorrow." And so the next day, she was also more likely to go. So finding an accountability partner, and specifically
Hmm.
a gym buddy, will help significantly to get you to go when you do not feel it because you're never, ever, ever going to feel like going 100% of the
Mhm,
time.
absolutely, and going to the gym or working out or doing things alone, can get a little bit sad, and that can also
Mhm.
hinder your progress as well. We always talk about mental health being really, really important, and having a good support system, having somebody to do things with you, whether they're here and with you, or they're far away. Like Joy, always sends us encouragement, and she sends us progress pictures, and she sends us all kinds of information about all of her hula hoop exercises, and that gives us encouragement. And if you do that for somebody else, that will give them encouragement as well.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, absolutely. Find yourself an accountability partner, not just with workouts, but in general. If you're like struggling, like for instance, say you're wanting to binge,
Hmm.
you have that person there that's like, "Hey, I'm having this moment." And it does probably need to be somebody that you're close to. Like
Hmm.
you're not going to want to go to some random person when you are struggling with something. So, but it is super essential to have that accountability partner.
Yes, and Joy mentioned that she's got somebody in the UK that she's an accountability partner that's also in the hula hoop group. And even though she is across the pond, as they say, you can still definitely be an accountability partner from far away. So that is a really good point, Joy.
Is I've actually found that my online friends are the best accountability partners.
Mhm.
I have met so many people on Instagram through this health journey that like when I'm struggling, I'm like, "Hey, I'm not feeling this today." And they're just like, "Listen, you got this."
Mhm.
So you can find accountability partners in some of the most random spots. The gym, online. Like if you have a health page, you will probably find some sort of accountability partner there.
Mhm.
Your spouse probably should be an accountability partner, and if they are not, you might want to talk to them about that because
Yes.
your spouse needs to be somebody cheering you on.
Mhm.
Your best friend could be your accountability partner. There's so many, like
Or your mom,
your
like
mom.
Courtney's mom.
Yes, my mom's here almost every week, just cheering
Mhm.
me on.
And absolutely, and after we finished with the gym and we worked out because we've got the Apple Watch, my mom sent her a text
Mhm.
message saying that she's proud of us for getting out and working out.
Yes, and
So,
you can. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying it can be really literally anybody.
And you can have more than one. You don't just have to have one accountability. Sorry, that word just I just can't say it for some reason. You
Accountability
do
part.
not just have to have just one accountability partner. So especially like you can have a group of people, and that's why your circle in general matters. Your whole circle,
Mhm.
not just one person. Because sometimes you just need a whole group that's just like doing things together, doing challenges, doing these things. So just find those people, and I mean, I promise you, they're going to be there.
Absolutely, and thanks so much, Regina. Regina commented on Facebook that
Aw.
she considers us part of her circle because she enjoys watching our lives on Tuesday, and her husband is her biggest support, which is amazing. Whether your partner is actively participating has the same goals as you or
Mhm.
not, as long as they're supportive, that's the most important part because not every couple or person in the couple has the same goals or
Yeah.
needs the same goals. So it's definitely good to have someone that's at the very least supportive, even if they're on a different journey than you.
Yes, and that is very essential to know. Like just because somebody's not in the same journey as you, in the same point of life as you, does not mean they can't be in your circle. Does not mean they cannot be your accountability partner. Because there are people they're already at their goal weight, or they just don't really have the desire
Hmm.
to lose weight, but they can see that you do, and they are still going to cheer you on. So
Hmm.
just because somebody's not in the same like I guess, place in their life as you does not mean that they cannot be part of your circle and
Mhm.
be an accountability partner for
And
you.
just our everyday friends, even though no, they're not within the weight loss or healthy community, just going about our day, we pass by them at work, or we see them at church or in the grocery store, and they know us. Oh, you're doing a great job.
Mhm.
Just simple comments like that. They don't have to be part of the inner circle. There's different layers, like Shrek says. I don't know why just came to my mind, but like onions, multiple different layers. You've got your inner core people, the closer people, and
Mhm.
then kind of the ones on the outside as well.
Yes.
And Dina mentions her husband is her accountability partner, and he knows how to be firm but loving when you're messing up. That's really,
Yes.
really important. You still kind of need somebody to be firm, but also still aware of your feelings.
Mhm.
Depending on the day, I might be a little bit more firm with Courtney, or I might be a little bit
Like
more loving.
yesterday and the day before, I wanted a cookie from Great American Cookie Company. He would not let me go get one.
Well, and I would have if she legitimately wanted one, but she told me, she says, "I do not need a cookie. I do not need a cookie." And then she's like, "Are we gonna go get a cookie?" I was like, "No, you just said you don't need a cookie. We're not gonna get a cookie."
Yeah.
Um,
And then I also have a problem with mayonnaise. I don't know why. I will literally use like a fourth of a jar of mayonnaise on my sandwich, and he wouldn't let me yesterday. He made my burger for me.
I did give her
He gave me a decent
more than
amount.
more than what probably is a normal serving, but not as much as she probably would have
So like
wanted.
just like things like that. Like and that's actually another point is your accountability partner has to be someone that will be firm with you,
Mhm,
that will, step in and tell you the things you don't want to hear, but the things you need to hear. Because it's not always going to be all sunshine and rainbows with this journey. And
mhm,
you do need someone that's going to be supportive, but also blunt sometimes
mhm,
and firm and tell you, hey, you might not need that. Or hey, is that really something you do? Or hey, get off your butt and go to the gym. Like, so you do need someone that's gonna tell you the things you might
mhm.
not want to hear, but need to hear.
Yep. So as much as I would like to give Courtney everything that she wants, when it comes to food and our health, probably don't give in to her as much as she might have liked. Now, if it comes to, buying another cup, that does not affect her health. It affects our wallet sometimes. But I can give her everything that we can reasonably afford and say yes to that, but we can say no when
Mhm.
it comes to health related items.
Yes. And also with this, with your circle, make sure you have people that you can talk to when you're struggling. Because, like I said,
Mhm,
it's not always going to be all sunshine and
mhm,
rainbows with your not just your health journey, but life in general. So make sure you do have someone you can go to when you're like, hey, I'm having a rough day, or hey, I that you can be honest with if you just had a
mhm,
binge moment and had like a whole package of Oreos. And somebody that is not going to judge. We listen and we don't judge.
mhm.
So somebody
Very
that's not
important.
going to judge you. So make sure that and it could be just one person in this instance because you don't have to
Hmm.
have a million people you go to when you're struggling.
Or she asked mom.
Um my mom just said I asked her to get me stuff too. Um but make sure you do have at least that one person that you can go to and just be honest and open with. That's also going to be honest and open with you in return.
Hmm.
Because when you are struggling, you do need someone. You are not alone in this. You are never alone in your health journey. And having somebody that you can just open up to when it is hard is very essential because sometimes that's what gets us out of our rut. Is
Hmm.
having that person we can talk to when we are struggling. That just kind of helps us see the other perspective.
Mhm. And you can find multiple different avenues to be able to get in contact with people. You can have individual text messages like Joy messages us directly. You can make a group chat. You can you can join a Discord server. You can have an Instagram account, and then Courtney, she will share on her story sometimes, since she has that close friends on there for those people that she knows that she can trust a little bit more. And when she's having a bad day, I can almost always count that, other than coming to me and talking to me about it, she's also sharing her on her close stories on Instagram, and she's just pouring her heart out to people, and then the amount of love and support she gets from that is worth more than gold.
Mhm.
So find that, whether it's on Instagram and you can share with stories, text messages, phone calls. You need to call your aunt or your uncle or your mom or your grandparents to get some support. But group chats, all those types of things.
Yes.
And then somebody mentions, I guess they have a great wife. Yeah, yes, I certainly hope you have an awesome, great wife like that.
Yes. But yes. So yes, you will struggle at times, and make sure you have those people that you can go to in those moments, because it is very, 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 very important, so they can
Mhm.
help pull you out of those moments. And also make sure that you are that person for somebody else, because there's probably going to be a time that somebody's going to need you during their health
Mhm.
journey
Oh,
or
yes.
just life in general. So make sure you are that person for somebody else as well.
Mhm. And then there's also no, know that you can go to people for different things. So
Hmm.
if Courtney is struggling with something and she knows someone who also struggles with that, she might message them. But if you just need encouragement, there's going to be everybody has different gifts, and some people are better with the encouragement, and others are better with the tough love, those type of things. So have multiple people. So not just a tiny circle like one or two people. If you can have four, five, six people, have those different people, and know that you can go to specific people for specific things.
Yes, and with that, make sure that you have people around you that are cheering you on. If they're not, then they probably shouldn't be in your circle.
Hmm.
You can have them in your life, but that does not mean that they have to be in that inner circle of people that you go
Hmm.
to, that you share your happiness, that you share your joy, that you share your struggles with. So make sure whoever it is in your circle is cheering you on, because that is
Hmm.
so important. Because if they're not, they're probably jealous, or they're just waiting for you to fail.
Hmm.
And it's really sad, but sometimes there are people like that that are just waiting for you to fail or
Hmm.
jealous, and they will not cheer you on. And it is sad. I've had people like that in my life, and I've just eventually had to be like, okay, no, like
Hmm.
no more. And it's hard, especially if it's somebody that you're close to, or somebody that should be cheering you on.
Hmm.
It is hard. It is never easy to just realize, hey, this person probably shouldn't be in my circle, but it is very essential. So make
Hmm.
sure that the people in your circle are cheering you on, and pay attention to the way they react when good things are happening to you.
Hmm.
Because that's a good indication of whether or not they should be there or not.
Exactly, because this health journey, as it is difficult. And we've been on this most recent leg of our journey for 4 or 5 years now, and it's not easy, and it's not really gotten easier even
Mhm.
as we progressed. So, if you have someone that does not bring comfort and joy and support and encouragement, then maybe minimize your interactions with them, just because it's hard enough to do it as it is, even with the good support system. If you have people tearing you down or not being encouraging, that can make or break it for you.
Mhm.
So make sure that you are careful about who is in your group.
Yes, and also sadly, some people don't realize what they're doing. So if you do have somebody in your circle that's just not responding the way you think they should, or that's not cheering you on, or that's tearing you down, you can also go to them and tell them, hey, like, I don't like this. This is what you did. This is like, because sometimes people just, I don't want to say naive, but I don't know the right
I
word,
don't
but they
think
just,
that some of their intentions might not be
mhm,
bad. They just might not realize that they're not being
mhm,
very helpful. And so if you are able to carefully and constructively
mhm.
ask them that's not really helpful, then hopefully they can adjust that. But there may be some people that might not, they might be doing it on purpose. But there may be people that don't know that they're bringing you down when they could be bringing you up.
Yes. And also, some people just kind of want to just let you have what you want, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
when it comes to like the cookie the other day,
Yeah.
some people's going to be like, yeah, you get that cookie, girl. Sometimes those are not the people that need to be there immediately, because if it's
Hmm.
somebody that's going to just give you what you want at all times, you're
Hmm.
not going to make any progress when you're really struggling, because you're going to be like, I want to eat this whole package of Oreos, and they're going to be like, you go ahead, girl, you deserve it. And like that's where the
They
firmness
think they're
goes.
being
Yeah, they
nice.
feel like they're being helpful,
Hmm.
and they're not. So make sure, that's where it goes back to what we were saying earlier about make sure the person that you go to is firm, because you don't really, you also don't need those people that are just going to tell you to have whatever you want.
Hmm.
Because we do need restrictions at some point, it's all about moderation, but it
Hmm.
has to be moderation, not all or nothing.
Yeah.
But also along with all of this, make sure you're protecting your peace, above and beyond.
Hmm.
If there's somebody in your circle that is toxic, that shouldn't be there, and I mean, it could be somebody that you've just been friends with forever and you guys just kind of grew apart. Or, like I said, somebody that's just jealous and you're just now noticing it. It's okay to protect your peace. It's okay to say, cutting you off. Like it is okay. And some people might make you feel guilty for that, for just cutting somebody off because they are toxic or because they are just not encouraging.
Hmm.
But you've got to do what's best for you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
You've got to protect your peace, and maybe cutting someone off might seem a little harsh, but like I said, that's where also talking to somebody might might help. Just being like, "Hey, like, you're being like this, you should be like this," and they might not even notice it. So,
Mhm.
definitely, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to protect your peace.
Mhm. And we've also talked about a similar topic about those people that are wanting to give you everything. We talked about this at when we were talking about the holidays last winter when going to parties and stuff. People might be like, "It's the holidays, have what you want," and that is a really slippery slope, and it can be dangerous. So that's why we try to be extra mindful when we have some sort of special event.
Mhm.
That yes, we want to enjoy the special event or the party and we want to treat ourselves, but we want to do it in moderation. I have a thing where somebody says YOLO, you only live once, and I said, well, you won't live very long if you're not very careful. So enjoy what you want, enjoy the special events, allow someone to give you stuff, but moderation.
Mhm.
Don't let somebody to tell you to eat a whole cookie just because if that's not what you feel like you need.
Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, with all of this, with the circle, with accountability partners, with everything, just know that you are not alone. You are not alone in this health journey. You are not alone in life in general. Things are going to get hard. Things always, you're going to plateau. You're just not going to feel well. It's going to get hard at some point. And you need those people you can go to when it gets hard. You need those people
Hmm.
you can go to when to celebrate your wins with, to say, "Hey, I'm down a pant size," and for them to cheer with you.
Hmm.
You need those people because you are not alone in this health journey. And like we've said before, if you need us to be those people for you, we absolutely 100% will. We are always here cheering you guys on. We love hearing your wins. We love hearing you. If you're struggling, we love, being able to let you know you're not alone and to give you ways to get out of those struggles. So just know that we are here, but you are never, ever, ever alone in your health journey or just in life in general, because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it is about more than just a health journey when it comes to life. And there are other things that goes on, and make sure you have people that are there for you because you should not be alone in this thing.
Mhm, and it doesn't even have to be, weight related. I
Mhm.
know Joy mentioned on Facebook that she had a really, rough time on Thursday, and she asked a coach to video chat and then was able to vent. Sometimes having that shoulder to cry on or scream at and vent, even if it's not weight related or health related, can help relieve that stress so you don't go and binge eat and you don't go off board or
Mhm.
you don't skip the gym just because you're frustrated and you don't have a way to relieve that stress. So have someone that you can go to, whether it's health related or not, just to talk.
Yes, because I can 150% tell you, if I did not have this man right here, I wouldn't have lost 100 pounds. I would not have.
Same here.
And he is one of my biggest accountability partners. And if I didn't have some of the people I have met on Instagram, I probably wouldn't be as far as I am. So definitely have those people because at the end of the day, like, they're gonna be what's gonna keep you going when you don't feel like going
Hmm.
anymore. Because you're never going to 100% want to do this at all times.
Hmm.
So having those people is what's going to keep you going. So we believe in you, and yeah.
Absolutely. So with that was kind of a really good and deep topic. If anybody has any comments, feel free to comment on there. If you would like to talk more or about different things, so just feel free to let us know. And let's go ahead and move on since we've only got about 5 minutes left to talk about our recipe. Let me go ahead and see if I can add that to this screen. There we go. All right, so this is today's recipe. We talked about it a little bit last week. Teased you about it. It's really, 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 really good. So I'll let Courtney take it
Yes,
away.
this has been our hyperfixation breakfast this week. Chris actually did it today with strawberries instead of apples, which I will also talk about at the end. But it is our normal yogurt bowl, which we've shared before, but a big twist on it. It's so good. It's apple pie yogurt bowl. It literally tastes like you're eating apple pie with ice cream. Oh, it's so good. So you're gonna need 3/4 a cup of, we use the vanilla, non-fat, the lowest sugar possible Greek yogurt. You can also use non-fat Greek yogurt and add vanilla extract to it if you would like to. Um, but 1/4 a cup of cottage cheese, 3 tablespoons of zero sugar whipped topping, 1/2 a cup of sugar, no sugar added apple pie filling. You can also make your own. And 1 tablespoon of graham cracker crumbs. A tablespoon goes a lot further than you
It
would think it
does.
would.
Absolutely.
Um, but first blend the cottage cheese together till it's smooth. I weigh mine out in grams just to make sure it's enough. Um, But then in a bowl, you're going to mix the blended cottage cheese, the yogurt, and the whipped topping. Mix it together till it's mixed well. If you like yours extra sweet, you can also add like a sugar substitute or some honey or syrup or just anything like that.
Hmm.
But then once it's mixed together, you're going to top it with the apple pie fillings and the graham cracker crumbs. Guys, it's so good. Like, it's so simple, but so good. You can use whatever pie toppings you want. We've just been using the apple pie because it's the one other than cherry. We don't like cherry. Um, the apple pie is the one you can find in stores, no sugar added. But Chris actually made a strawberry one the other
Yeah,
day.
I love strawberries. So, and the key is to get the no sugar added because fruits are naturally sweetened. They do have some sugars, but you don't need extra sugar. And we have a monk fruit sweetener that we can add to it too. But basically, I just took a small bag of frozen strawberries, and the key is to do the frozen one since it has a little extra moisture. I just put it in a saucepan and turn it on to medium heat, and then let it melt, and then let it cook, and then I kind of crushed out the berries a little bit, and then just basically kept stirring and reduced the let the moisture reduce, and then added some monk fruit sweetener, and then I just put it in the fridge to chill, and that basically is a no sugar added fruit pie filling that you can use for this. So
So
you
you can
can
use any kind of berries you want.
you can do peaches, you can do blueberries, you can do strawberries. If you had fresh apples, you could probably do something similar, but you might want to add a little bit of moisture to that. But since the stores are limited sometimes in the no sugar added pie fillings, you can make your own. And it
Or
was
you can use the extra calorie ones if you want
yeah,
to
if you
as
want
well.
to, yes. But I like to maximize what I can eat with the sugars and carbs, and it was very, very, very easy. Very little work. It took like 30 minutes, but I didn't have to watch
Yeah.
it the whole time. I just stirred it and then walked away and stirred it and walked away.
Yes, but with the macros and stuff for the apple pie one, is between 5 and 8 bites, 242 calories, 29 net carbs, and 24 grams of protein. You can also up the protein by adding a scoop of protein powder to it, which we have done before. We also, another idea, we did cookie butter crumbs instead of graham cracker crumbs, and
Hmm.
it was divine as well. So this is something you can kind of switch up, use whatever pie filling, use whatever like crunchiness you want. You can use granola, whatever. But this tastes like an apple pie with ice cream for like a fraction of the
Hmm.
calories. We had apple pie with ice cream at his parents last night, and it was probably like
About the
600 or 700
Oh
calories.
yeah, but the
And
taste wise, it was.
taste wise, it was the same,
Mhm.
but we actually get more food, like more volume with the yogurt bowl.
Absolutely. And this, kind of what started off as a dessert, but we use this as an actual meal. This has been our breakfast several
Mhm.
days this week. Tons of protein, but it can be a dessert, but
Mhm.
it's a little higher in bites than you might want to have for a dessert. But if it's a whole meal, like a lunch or breakfast, very, very good.
Like I said, you can also add protein powder to bulk it up. And if you don't like cottage cheese or don't do cottage cheese, you can also substitute that with a little bit of sugar-free cheesecake pudding, but it will take some of the protein away as well.
Absolutely. But I hope you try this recipe and you enjoy it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.